In this video, I'm going to explain what harmonics saturation is, how it works, and how you can use it in your mixes. Hey everyone, Joe here. So to start things off, what is harmonic saturation? Saturation is a form of subtle distortion that you can use to add character and warmth to your mixes. And what this is doing specifically is it's changing the waveform in a way that's adding additional harmonic material to the sound itself. And this can be used in your mix to help certain elements of your mix stand out, to add thickness to the mix and help glue it together by applying an effect across the whole mix. How a saturation plugin reacts to your audio can vary greatly from plugin to plugin. And there are a huge amount of saturation plugins available that all sort of do different things. But generally, the purpose of a saturation plugin is to emulate the effect that a piece of analog hardware has on audio. Like an analog mixing desk or a tape machine, which typically add a level of soft clipping to the audio, which gives it a kind of analog warmth, sometimes a little bit of grittiness, sometimes even a little bit of gentle compression. And the effect can vary greatly depending on how much signal is being pushed through that analog equipment. In the digital domain, when you're recording straight into your computer using a digital interface, you're typically going to get a very clean and kind of sterile result, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just isn't always what your mix needs, and it can end up feeling a little bit thin or bland, and pushing a lot of signal into your system isn't going to change that, because in the digital domain, if you push a lot of signal through and it hits that 0 dB mark, you're going to get this nasty digital distortion, not this sort of smooth, soft clipping that you might get with analog gear. What kind of saturation your mix needs is going to vary a huge amount depending on your mix and what kind of sound you're going for, but generally most mixes can benefit from some level of saturation. So now in part two, we're going to have a look at some saturation plugins, and I'm going to go over the parameters, the settings, how they work. So as you'll see here, we've got a couple of saturation plugins on the screen. Let's get rid of that one for now and just focus on this really simple saturation knob from Softube. This is a free plugin and it has just two settings: saturation and saturation type. Now these are two common settings that you might find in a lot of saturation plugins. You might see this written as drive on other plugins. It's just going to give us more saturation basically the higher we turn this knob up, which you'll hear in a second. And then saturation type is just the kind of the style of saturation that we're going to hear. So I've got this on a bass guitar. Let me just play a little bit and you'll hear the effect that it has. Adding this distortion, normally I wouldn't go too hard on saturation. You want to generally keep it quite subtle. But yeah, this is a really simple one. And then if we listen to the different type, a keep low there is keeping the lows as they are on the original signal. It's not saturating them, and keep high would do the same thing for the high frequencies. So again, very simple plugin. We're going to have a look at another one now so you can get to grips with some of the other settings you might find on a saturation plugin. This is the Soundtoys Decapitator. Let's go over what we've got here. So you might see some EQ settings or some filter or low high cut settings. They all do the same thing. They just worded differently on the different plugins. And then we can use these filters, the high and low cut, to remove the highs or the lows from being saturated. And then you've got a drive knob there, as I mentioned. You might see that as saturation or drive, something similar. And then we've got style as well. These are just different types of saturation. They might be modeled on different real life analog gear. I know this particular plugin isn't modeled on a specific piece of analog gear, but it'll just give you a different style. I think these letters signify American and English, and just different styles of saturation. And then we've got the mix knob as well. If you don't have a mix knob, then you can get a similar effect from using the plugin on a bus and just dialing in however much you want. But basically, if we turn that drive right up, going to be affecting the signal completely, and somewhere in the middle you're going to get a little bit of the original signal coming through and a little bit of the saturated signal. And then you might find an output or a gain knob that's just going to allow us to control the level going out, so we can match the level going in, so we're not changing the level by saturating. And then the third type of saturation plugin we're going to look at is a tape emulation plugin. So you're going to see some different settings on here, similarly to the ones you'd find on a tape machine itself. So we've got record and playback level. That's how much is going into the machine and then how much is coming out, similar to the output that we saw in the other one. And then the IPS setting, this emulates tape speed when recording to tape, and it has a clear effect. The 7.5 gives a kind of warmer sound, the 15 more of a brighter and cleaner sound. And then some other options here, wow and flutter, flux, they're emulating the kind of irregularities that you'd find when recording to tape. And then noise, which is going to add some artificial noise. But now we're going to use these plugins in action in a mix, and you can see how these different settings affect the mix and how to use them in context. So while we're on this session in this vocal, let's put a bit of saturation on there. And I'm just going to solo this so you can hear the effect of this wow and flutter.
A grip, I can't keep up with my money.
Here it sounds really warbly. Now,
so why just run away from me? Yeah.
With that on 100, it's a bit too much. It's just kind of distracting. But having a little bit in there can make for give it a more analog feel.
It's getting worse. I came out accelerated. My thoughts racing through my head each day. It'll just run away from me. Thoughts racing through my head each day. It'll just run away from me. I never seem to hold on and get a grip. I can't keep.
So now let's take a look at the bass guitar. So I've muted the amp recorded bass. There are going to be situations where you might just have a DI bass or a synthesized bass, and you just want to give it a bit more grit. Let's loop this section where we can really hear what the bass is doing and add on that decapitator.
It'll just run away from me. I never seem to hold on and get a grip. I can't keep up with my money stay. So I just run away from me. Yeah.
So like that, so we can really hear what's going on. Just bring down the output so we're not increasing the level of it. And back in context.
So I just run away from me. Yeah. It's getting worse. I came out accelerated. My thoughts racing through my head each day. It'll just run away from me. I never seem to.
Just with a little bit of saturation, that's sounding a lot more chunky and grungy, it works much better with the song. And then finally, I just want to quickly show you what saturation can do for a master, or even on a mix bus, it works great. But I've got a master here. It's a track from Blind Fate, and let's just hit play, and then I'm going to add in that Kramer tape, add a little bit of saturation as a whole, just very subtly. We don't want to overdo it, and you'll hear the difference. So to me, I'm hearing it's getting a little bit brighter, but not in a harsh way, just in a really musical way. It's very subtle, but it just helps bring the master together and gives it a little bit of clarity without it sounding thin. There are loads and loads of other ways you can use saturation. I'm sure I'll cover them in other videos, but those are some great ways that saturation can help in your mixes. So that's a basic overview of saturation and how to use it in your mixes. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comments section below. And for more mixing tips, plugin tutorials, just hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.